Is President Trump setting an example of how world leaders should operate? In this video, America's Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, openly praises President Trump for what he has accomplished since returning to the White House less than a year, which Rubio said no other world leader could have done. While Trump is putting America first with every single decision, the British taxpayer is still being treated like the world's piggy bank for everyone else. Today, we're going to show you two government principles that Trump is using right now. One, benchmarking, and two, surrounding yourself with wise counselors. Before we get into the details, if you love diving into political issues and enjoy hearing a principled take on them, then hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to join the conversation. It will help our channel reach a wide audience.
Because for the first time in a long time, we have a president who basically puts America at the forefront of every decision we make in our relations with the world. And that may sound weird to people, like, of course you always do. No, that hasn't always been the case until about a year ago. And I think we've all witnessed in our own respective spaces how in every interaction the president has with the world, the goal he has in mind is very simple. Does what you want us to do, or is it going to make us stronger? Is it going to make us richer? Is it going to make us safer? If it is, he's for it. If it's not, he's against it. If something's going to make America weaker or poorer or less safe, the president's going to be against it. And every single thing he has done in our foreign policy has been driven by the American people in mind. And I can go down the list. Why has he focused on mass migration? It's very simple, because no country is safe if you can just walk in without us knowing who you are into your country. We've seen the destruction that that's wreaking, not just in our own country, but the impact that it's having in Europe and in many other parts of the world. You talk about the trade deals and the trade situations it's been involved in. People, all this reporting on it. It's very simple. The president views the last 40 years as an era of which American workers and American farmers have been ripped off. They've been ripped off, and what he's saying is we want to have a trade with the world, but it has to be a trade in which American businesses and American workers and the products they make and what American farmers grow and produce has a fair shot to be sold around the world. On issue after issue, that's been the case. You talk about foreign aid reforms. This is not our money. This is taxpayer money. When the president has said is we're going to do foreign aid, but we're going to do foreign aid for countries that are aligned with the United States and in a way that doesn't waste the taxpayers' money. Mr. President, you deserve tremendous credit for that. Many of us, the Vice President, by the way, I want to acknowledge, has played an extraordinary role in our foreign policy, and he too has been a witness to all of this as it's been occurring, and he's been a big part of it as well. You talk about NATO. The President's not against NATO. He went to NATO and basically said, look, you guys, we're paying all the money, and he got them to do the 5% commitment, which everybody said was never going to happen and was impossible. Everything this president does is driven by the American people. Whether you don't have to agree with the actual move, but understand the motivation. The motivation is always you, the American people, and what's good for you, for your family, for the country, and for our economy. But the president is also committed to peace in a way that all of us have seen. He achieved in Gaza, and he does it, by the way, not just because he hates war and he thinks wars are a waste of money and lives, but because he's the only leader in the world that can. No other leader in the world could have pulled off what happened in Gaza. And I can tell you, I can't get into the details. The Vice President knows what I'm talking about. That deal doesn't happen without the president's direct interaction with the leaders that were involved in this decision making. And everyone said that deal couldn't hold. And then the president shepherded through the United Nations of all places to get a global coalition of countries to line up behind the peace deal, behind the border peace. And it's still, every day is a challenge, but it's been driven personally by the president. It's the reason why we're involved in this whole Ukraine-Russia conflict. That's not our war. It's not the president's war. This war started, it never would have happened if you'd been president. But this war is going on, and the president is trying to end it, not because, listen, we got a million things to focus on in the world as a country, but he's the only leader in the world that can help end it. And that's why even as we speak to you now, Steve Woodcock is in Moscow trying to find a way to end this war, to save lives of 9,000 people, Mr. President, as you know, are dying every week. More people are dying a week in that war than have died in the entirety of the U.S.'s involvement in Afghanistan or Iraq. Just think about that, how bloody and destructive it is. The president's taken on this issue of Sudan personally, not send out deputies to do it. Again, far away from the United States, because he's the only leader in the world that can bring it about to an end, not to mention all the other peace deals, very dangerous ones like India and Pakistan, or Cambodia and Thailand. And so on all these things, Mr. President, I think you deserve tremendous credit for the transformational aspect of our foreign policy. For the first time in probably 4 decades, the American foreign policy is driven by what is good for America and Americans. whether it makes us safer and stronger and more prosperous. If it is, he's for it. If it doesn't, he's against it. And that sort of clarity is transformational.
Every government should have the best interests of its own nation at the forefront of every decision they make, whether at home or abroad. This is the leader President Trump is. Every decision he makes has America first on his mind. That is why these two principles matter so much. Benchmarking: find out what actually works, copy it fast, and make it even better. Benchmarking is not blind imitation. It is a disciplined process of observing, evaluating, and selectively adopting what actually works elsewhere. Leaders who benchmark do not reinvent failures. They inherit proven successes and avoid the same pitfalls. It is low-cost wisdom acquisition. The British government needs to study President Trump's policies that have already delivered results, adopt what works, and put them into effect. Do that, and Britain will grow in strength, become much safer and more prosperous. Second principle: surround yourself with wise counselors, people who have already built, fixed, and delivered in the real world, not career politicians who've never built anything. Men and women who have proven track records of delivery, not career politicians who have never achieved anything outside of politics. How many of our current UK cabinet ministers fit the description of politicians without any significant real-world impact and experience outside of the political arena? Only a handful have any substantial private sector or non-political delivery experience. Perhaps that's a problem, and explain why the British government puts everyone else first and treats the British taxpayer as the piggy bank for anything they want to do, except looking after the British people who pay the bills. Leaving Britain's borders wide open and spending billions housing illegal migrants in 4-star hotels is not in the country's interest. We keep hearing that illegal migrants throw away their passports. Why would anyone who is legitimate destroy the documents that identify them? No nation is safe if you allow everyone to walk in without having any knowledge of who they are and where they are from. The choice facing every British leader and every voter is clear. Will we continue with the same failed approach, or will we finally benchmark policies that have already succeeded elsewhere and surround ourselves with wise counselors who put the nation first? Britain deserves nothing less. If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.